In this video, I'm going to help you answer the question, what is the best page builder for WordPress? Or better yet, what is the best page builder for you? Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I release a ton of content to help you get better results with WordPress faster. If you're new here, consider clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like video notifications, there's a little bell off to the right, and YouTube will let you know when I upload a new video. And all the links to everything I talk about will be linked in the video description below. Whew, what an introduction. Well, hey, this video is actually going to be sort of a follow-up to a video that I made last year. It is right here. Let me click to it. I made a video last year comparing the various page builders, and a lot has changed in the 10 months since I recorded and uploaded this video. And this was a pretty popular video. Over 50,000 people watched this video, and it helped a lot of people make their decision on what page builder that they wanted to use for their situation. And it is the perfect time right now to remake this video because a lot of things have changed in the last 11 months. There's been several updates to some of these page builders, some new entrants, and there's a lot of things going on with WordPress in general. So buckle in. This is going to be a little longer of a video. I'll try to get through the information as fast and concisely as possible. Now, the first thing I want you to know is, why should you even listen to me on this topic? There are a lot of people that write reviews, and typically, I record reviews all the time. Typically, you get the product, you install it, and you play around with it for a half hour or so, and then you come up with your impressions and write your review. I'm not that guy when it comes to page builders. I use all of these page builders, and you kind of get a different perspective if you're using something for 30 minutes or if you've been using something since it came out or for several years. And so with the page builders that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I have been a actual user of these products. I'm not someone that's played around with it for 10 or 15 minutes and am coming up with all these impressions. I know also where all these page builders are headed and what to expect in the next 12 months. A lot of times because I'm communicating with the developers of these plugins. So there is a little bit of an additional reason to watch this video and consume this information, because I'm going to help you make the best decision for you when it comes to choosing a page builder. Now, in this video, I'm going to make a big deal out of certain things and try to focus on several things. So first of all, I think that it's much better to have a front-end page builder versus a back-end page builder. And so it's a totally different page and content creation experience. A back-end page builder, you're just virtually moving things around. You don't have any idea what it's going to look like, and you're in this constant process of updating, viewing, refreshing, and all of that. A front-end page builder is kind of like a what you see is what you get experience, and this is the type of web page building experience that I think is an absolute must today. There is no reason that I can think of to use a back-end page builder when there are phenomenal front-end page builders available, and it's such a huge time saver. Next, I'm going to make a big deal in this video about content lock-in. And what that means is there's certain page builders, when you use them, you kind of have to use them for life. There really is no way of getting out of it. Either when you stop using that plugin, your content disappears permanently, or it's going to be loaded up with shortcodes, rendering all of the content useless anyway. And this is a point of difference from the video that I made last time, where I was cutting some content lock-in page builders a little bit of slack, but we're in 2017. I do not think that anyone should be using a page builder where you're locked into that page builder for life. Next, I'm mostly going to be talking about theme agnostic page builders versus theme specific page builders. And what that means is a theme specific page builder means it's pretty much a page builder that will only work with the one theme and it comes sold as a bundle, versus a theme agnostic page builder where you can use it with any WordPress theme. And lastly, I'm going to bring up some issues of backwards compatibility that you should really be thinking about, because if you are using a page builder that has been around for say 5 or 6 years, unfortunately, those page builders are very restricted in what they can do because they always have to make it backwards compatible. Now, there are also two things I'm not going to talk about in this video. One of them is going to be the page load time speed of these builders. And there's a big reason why. Things are so mature these days with page builders and the code that they create, so it doesn't really matter if a website takes a fraction of a second longer to load because you're using one page builder versus another page builder. It's complete nonsense. I know we talk about a lot of times having a fast loading website is good for SEO, and it absolutely is. It's actually better, not as much for SEO as it is for the user experience, which if you give someone a bad user experience, they'll bounce off your site, and that hurts your SEO big time. But if you're doing proper things, you have a proper host, you're using proper caching, which you're going to need both of those anyway, you're not going to have a problem with speed. And if it's a fraction of a millisecond longer for using one page builder versus another, I think it's really a pointless argument. And the second thing I'm not going to talk about is the actual rendered code. So you make your page layout, and then you're looking at it. One page builder might have a few extra lines of code over another one. I think it's pointless to make those arguments that this is better because there's a couple lines of code. I mean, some people literally think Google's coming to your site and they're saying, oh my gosh, there's 5 extra lines of code, we're going to have to knock them down, or there's a couple extra lines of code, we don't want to recommend that site because this other one has a couple lines less of code. It's completely nonsensical if you ask me, and it makes absolutely no sense. So I am not going to bring that up as well in this video. So I'm mainly going to focus on 4 different page builders, but I want to briefly talk about each of the page builders that I'm not going to talk about a whole lot, and I want to say why. Now, these are in no particular order, but let's just get through that right now. Number 1, I'm not going to talk about the Cornerstone page builder. This is a theme-specific page builder that is with a theme called the X theme. The reasons I am not going to talk about this page builder is because it's tied to that theme, and you have this big content lock-in problem where if you ever wanted to stop using this page builder, your content's going to end up being useless because it's going to be wrapped in so many short codes. I have used this page builder before. I find it very non-intuitive, and this is just my personal experience, but I don't think anyone should go with the Cornerstone page builder mainly because of the content lock-in issue. And because of that short code issue, it tends to be a lot of incompatibility with third-party plugins that you may want to use on your site. So that is Cornerstone. Next one is Fusion Page Builder, and this is pretty much the same thing as Cornerstone. It's a theme-specific page builder. It's completely back-end page builder, and there is huge lock-in on your content. And there's significant compatibility issues with other plugins that you may want to use, booking plugins, event plugins, all types of plugins. There's going to be some compatibility issues. So next plugin page builder is OptimizePress. This is actually, the problem with OptimizePress is it's stuck in 2014. The website's the same website from 2014. When this came out in 2014, it was the bee's knees. I mean, this was the plugin to have in it. And dare I say, it was one of the first kind of front-end page building experiences, but your content is all locked in and it is very cumbersome to work with. If you use it, there's no reason today to use OptimizePress. What it did in 2014 was nothing short of revolutionary. We're about to hit 2018. It's completely outdated. It hasn't really been updated or changed much in the last 3 years. And sadly, I mean, it was a great plugin when it came out, but sadly, it is very slow to work with, and it's just no reason to use OptimizePress these days, unfortunately. The next one is Oxygen. I actually did a full review on Oxygen Builder. This is actually new, and it's kind of interesting how it works. It's a plugin, but it kind of takes over your entire website. And the big negative I see with it is that you get this content lock-in. So if you're ever to stop using Oxygen, all your content completely disappears, and it's not really technically a page builder, but you could kind of use it as that. You can use it with page builders. I would recommend just watching the full review video that I did on Oxygen app to see if it's for you. There are certain people that it's great for. It's a little technical to use. So that's up to you whether you want to use Oxygen or not. But if you are interested in this, definitely check out the full review that I created about it. Next, let's see here. We have SiteOrigin. Now, SiteOrigin is used on a ton of websites. It's active on over 1 million websites. It is it's actually a back-end page editor, but they've tried to add some front-end page editing to it. And you do not want to use this page builder at all. It's very cumbersome. You have complete content locked in. If you were to disable it, you lose everything that you created. You're stuck using it. And there's actually no reason to use it. Right now, obviously, it's free. So I think that's why it gets a lot of activations. But there is a way better free page builder available for WordPress. So right now, I don't really see any reason to use SiteOrigin. And I think the reason those numbers are so high is because it's been around for a very long time. It is very non-intuitive to work with, and you get that content lock in. Next, we are talking about Visual Composer. I'm going to get some Visual Composer folks for sure. Now, Visual Composer, you can buy it on CodeCannon. It's been purchased a ton of times, 311,000 times. Now, the reason people are purchasing it, they're not purchasing it because, I want to use Visual Composer. The reason they're buying this thing is because they're buying a theme on ThemeForest that has this built into it, and they get a little message that says, if you want updates, you got to go over here and buy it. And that's the only reason it's been purchased 300,000 times. I have never met one person that was stuck using Visual Composer and was actually happy about it. It is very slow it is probably the slowest to use page builder out there. It is very frustrating to work with. You get nickel and dimed for everything. So you think $34, that's not a lot of money. Yeah, but then when you see there's over 200 add-ons for it and every little feature you want's $20 here, $30 there, it is just the worst experience of building a page that I could imagine. It is littered with shortcodes, meaning if you were to deactivate and stop using this, any piece of content you created is virtually worthless. And because of that shortcode issue, you're going to get a lot of incompatibility with plugins that you're probably going to want to use on your site, like an event calendar or something like that, booking. There's tens of thousands of plugins on WordPress.org, and you're going to have some compatibility issues for sure. I have yet to meet or come across anyone that has said anything great about using Visual Composer. Usually you're using it because you're stuck using it because you got some theme on ThemeForest, which I won't even do anymore, but you get some theme on ThemeForest that has this integrated into it. And there is a migration though. These theme developers are starting to allow you to use other page builders and not just Visual Composer, which I think is going to be a great thing. The next page builder is Themify. Yes, Themify Builder. And I did get a lot of comments about Themify Builder. And they actually reached out to me recently to see if I would talk about Themify Builder. And I did consider maybe doing more of a review on this because I hear people asking me. But I got to say, 5 minutes after using this, I do not like it at all. I'm going to show you the interface. I don't want to be mean, okay? So I'll just say I don't like the interface, and I'll leave it at that. You do get that content lock-in, and the interface, I'm going to be gentle. I'll just say it's kind of clumsy. Let me kind of show you the interface right here. So I have it installed. I'm going to click on Themify Builder, and wait till you see the interfaces that I'm about to show you. You're going to see this, and it's lousy. This is just, I don't even know where to click. I see a bunch of icons and, it's pretty bad. I'm clicking. I don't see anything happening. If I want to add something, I click this plus, but I can't click on it half the time because of this overlay. And then I can only see this, but it's being cut off with what's below it. This is really not anything I would recommend anyone consider using on their website. I know it's cheap. It's also built into a lot of their themes, but they're trying to kind of pull it out and make it a little bit more theme agnostic. But this is just something that, I don't know why anyone would inflict this on their life using the Themify Builder. I really don't like it at all. Now, part of that's personal preference, so you're going to have to take that with a grain of salt. So if you're the developer and you want to attack me, I'm the first to say, take it with a grain of salt. You check it out yourself. myself, but I think you're going to agree that the interface is extremely clunky and there's just much better stuff out there. So let me go ahead and get into the first page builder that I'm going to talk about. I did try to alphabetize these to show that there is no preference in these 4 main page builders. And the first one is the letter B, so I'm talking about it first, and that is Beaver Builder. And actually, Beaver Builder is the page builder I'm using on my main site, WP Crafter. I have several websites, so I'm using a lot of these page builders. This one happens to be using the Beaver Builder. I've used Beaver Builder from day one on that website. It doesn't make any sense for me to change. I will be transparent with you. I was considering changing themes last year, 2016, in the summer, but when I caught word of a new product that they had coming out called Beaver Themer, it was a complete game changer for me and caused me to stick around with Beaver Builder. Now, here's the thing. Beaver Builder 2.0 is about to come out. I'm going to show you Beaver Builder 2.0 right now. It's about to come out. Maybe 6 months ago, I released a video where I compared Beaver Builder to another page builder, and I was pretty harsh on both of them, exposing all of the weaknesses with it. And every single weakness that I pointed out about Beaver Builder, they changed in version 2 of Beaver Builder. It is pretty much an amazing site to see. A big game changer though with Beaver Builder is this thing called Beaver Themer, and they were the first to kind of come up with this concept. Essentially, if you get Beaver Themer as well, it's going to allow you to use Beaver Builder, the page builder, to create dynamic headers on your website, footers. It's going to allow you to create templates for blog posts, and that's something that I'm totally using on my website. Custom post type styling. I mean, it's just amazing what it allows you to do, but it's a little bit more advanced if you pair it up with Beaver Themer. Some people are having a hard time wrapping their mind around Beaver Themer and everything that it does for you. I like to say it makes your website a smart website because there's all these conditional things that you can do with it. Let me give you a peek. Well, here, let me just look at the pricing of Beaver Builder real quick and then give you a peek at Beaver Builder 2.0. So if you go to pricing right here, Beaver Builder is only $100 just for the plugin. If you wanted the theme that they sell as well, it's $199. So $99 is really inexpensive, and you can use it on unlimited websites. It does get a little pricier if you want the functionality of Beaver Themer. Beaver Themer is going to come in at $147. They're two separate products, and so if you want Beaver Themer, you also have to have Beaver Builder. So if you factor that all in, now the cost to use both tools is $246. So that is the cost of Beaver Builder. And a lot of folks use the Beaver Builder theme. There's actually multiple themes now that will work with any page builder. I even made a video on that recently. Okay, here was one of the things I wanted to actually talk about. I already clicked on it. One of the weaknesses of Beaver Builder, the builder is amazing. It's rock solid. It is trusted by more agencies, I think, than any other page builder. It is methodically developed, updated, built, and maintained. And what that translates to you, if you are making websites with a page builder for customers, nothing is worse than clicking update and then having your whole site get screwed up. You have an upset client, or if it's even your website, now you're embarrassed and you've got to spend all of this time to figure out what the heck went wrong, and it's just not worth it sometimes. This is not going to be your experience with Beaver Builder. It is so methodically cared for that the updates that let me put it this way. Out of every plugin or theme I've ever had for WordPress, the one that has given me the least amount of problems, next to zero problems, is Beaver Builder. And that is because they are so careful in everything that they do with Beaver Builder. There is no content lock-in. I'm making a big deal out of content lock-in. You get no content lock-in with Beaver Builder, which means if you stopped using Beaver Builder, it retains the vast majority of your content just the way that you had it. Now, a big negative with Beaver Builder is that they are more focused on having the most rock solid, stable, and functional page builder. And what's lacking is a lot of the advanced modules and styling that it's going to offer you to use on your websites. And so what this does is it opens up a third-party marketplace for an add-on package. So right here is the very best add-on package for Beaver Builder. It's called Ultimate Add-ons for Beaver Builder. It's $69, which is very affordable. It's going to add page templates. It's going to add row templates, tons of modules, and I'm using this on my website right now. If you click on modules, you're going to get a list of amazing modules that it brings to the table, and it doesn't slow down your website at all. And this is the package I'm using on my WP Crafter website to bring so much to the table. They recently added gradients, so you can use Ultimate add-ons to create beautiful gradient backgrounds on your websites. You get all of these page templates that come with it. You can just come here and check out the site. Beautiful, functional, and useful page templates. They're all included. Let's just look at the pricing real quick, and then I'm going to finally show you Beaver Builder 2.0. It's only $69. If you wanted a lifetime license, it's $249. I own the lifetime license that I purchased. Here is Beaver Builder 2.0. This is the new interface. Now, here were some of the things that I didn't like about Beaver Builder that they have totally fixed. If you noticed, if you're familiar with Beaver Builder version 1 and you're looking now, you notice that you can now dock the settings panel. So there's this little thing here I can click on, and I can undock it. I can have everything float. So if I wanted to make an adjustment, it could just float, or I can pin it to the left or the right side. So now I can pin it onto the right side. So whenever I click on something, I can change it right there. And here is the biggest improvement that well, that's huge for me. But check this out. You can also notice when you were using Beaver Builder version 1 and you would click on something, you would get this pop up, and then it would take a second or two for it to actually show you the settings. Now with Beaver Builder 2.0, everything is instantaneous. So if I click on this bit of text, you'll see I click on it, and then on the left, it's immediately there for me to change. And this is pretty huge. It's a vast improvement over Beaver Builder version 1. I'm so excited that they added this instant ability to change the settings. I love this dock setting here as well. And another cool thing that they have, I really like, you see how, unfortunately, because I have some white in the template that I'm using right here, and the Beaver Builder interface is kind of whitish. Check this out. If I go to the drop down here, I can change it to dark mode. I actually like dark mode on everything. My YouTube's on dark mode. Everything's on dark mode. My iPhone's on dark mode. I love it. And you get this dark mode right here. You also get shortcuts now, so you can just enter single keys on the keyboard to save and preview and all of that. And now they also added a preview for mobile, so I can choose one of these mobile devices or these different orientations. I can go mobile, tablet, or whatever. And it's just pretty amazing, everything that they have added to Beaver Builder 2.0. I will say, when they first announced Beaver Builder 2.0 and they first released the alpha version of it, I was 100% underwhelmed, but they picked up speed in the development. They added this docking so that you can move the setting panel where you want it to go. And then what really made me a believer is when they made it so when you click on anything, you can instantly change it. And I do know that there are lots of additional things that are coming to Beaver Builder. Some things I can talk about, some things I can't talk about, some things I'll talk about later in the video when I'm talking about other page builders that have these various features. But this is pretty huge improvement for Beaver Builder. So Beaver Builder is fantastic. It's super reliable. To really get the most out of it, I really think you have to buy one of the add-on packages. That's kind of a negative because it adds a little bit of cost to it. But if you're not interested in Beaver Themer, now you're just looking at $99 for Beaver Builder and $69 for Ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder. It's an amazing combination that's going to get you pretty much everything that you could want in a web design. Next, let's take a look at Divi, of course. Divi is kind of one of the, I guess they call it the 800-pound gorilla, meaning they are a big chunk of the market of people that use page builders. There's a lot of problems with Divi that I'm going to talk about right now. Number one, you have content lock-in, and what that means is you can't stop using Divi and retain your information. There's no elegant way. There is a way to kind of extract some of it, but it's not really that elegant or easy to pull off. And here's the problem that I see with Divi. Divi is one of the original page builders for WordPress. They were out a very, very long time ago. They're on version 3, but we're talking years and years and years. They were pretty much the first out of all of these page builders that I'm talking about. And what happens is if they're going to release a new version of Divi, they have to make it backwards compatible with all of the older versions of Divi so they don't break people's websites. This is very good, but it's also horrible because they're restricted on what they can do with Divi. So Divi is known for having these short codes, and there's really no way for them to get away from short codes. And that is because of this backwards compatibility. Let's take a quick look at their pricing. I think one of the main advantages with Divi is their pricing. They do have very aggressive pricing. They recently increased the yearly plan to $89 per year, but they are one of the only page builders that has a lifetime plan. For $249, you get lifetime access to Divi, which makes it very attractive if the main consideration in choosing a page builder is price. I personally don't think your main consideration should be price, but I can understand if that is one of your considerations. You can actually go to Divi's website and you can demo the user interface of Divi, and here it is. I think some of the things I would say about Divi is they do have a very unique interface. They came out with it about a year ago, and it is very innovative. They created a interface that they say to kind of have the interface kind of disappear. One thing's nice, it has inline editing. That means when you click on a bit of text, you can start typing right there and you get this inline text experience. And this is something that you don't currently get out of Beaver Builder. However, I do know that they are going to be adding that after version 2 of Beaver Builder is released. Now, Divi is mainly geared towards designers, but the problem that I've always had with Divi is if you go to Divi's website, go ahead and click on their blog and look at some of their tutorials, or go to their YouTube channel and look at some of the video tutorials they have. If you want to do really anything kind of custom or unique to any site that you're making with the Divi Builder, it requires you add so many different lines of text to the Divi Builder. It's just insane. There's no problem with adding custom code in the certain spots, but it becomes kind of hard to manage when you've got lots of code in lots of places, and then you have a problem, and is this bit of code conflicting with this bit of code, and you start to have these problems that happen, and you don't even know how to begin troubleshooting it because you're not even going to remember that bit of custom code that you added a year ago. Now, I will say that Divi is coming out with some really innovative features to their builder. They have one that's really neat. It's called Selective Sync, and I remember when they announced this in a video a few months back, I thought, wow, that is a brilliant feature where you can actually sync up styles. So if you place the same module in different places on your website, you can have these style changes be synced. So you can change the style in one spot and it will change on all of the spots. It's actually a pretty innovative way of doing things. And I also know that a lot of new features have been hitting Divi and are coming out for Divi, and it's pretty exciting to see. However, for me, I think that I would not use Divi on a website if I was building it today because I'm afraid of all that backwards compatibility that they're stuck maintaining. And they have a history of releasing aggressive updates, which is good, but then a lot of sites end up breaking. So if you go into any of the Facebook groups for Divi, right after an update comes out, there's going to be a lot of people complaining that it crashed their site. And this is probably because they have such a large user base and there's so many sites using Divi, but it's also probably part of that backwards compatibility problem. So in summary, I do think Divi is a great value. I think if you see all the most vocal people supporting Divi, they have always used Divi. They've been using Divi since the early days and they've had these lifetime licenses. There's a lot of great people in the Divi community. One of the things I kind of don't like about the Divi community is there's this add-on market that has kind of sprouted up and it's very fractured. There are some really good add-ons that people have created, but there's some really crummy ones as well, and there's this fracturedness to it in my opinion. But I think that's something that Divi is going to fix later on with opening up its own marketplace. So next, let's move on to Elementor. Elementor has really taken the page building experience of building websites by storm. They've only been out for maybe a year and 2 months or so, and they just hit a great milestone of having over 200,000 active websites using it. It took them, I think, about 9 months to get the first 100,000. It took them 4 months to get the second 100,000, and I think they'll probably by the end of 2017 have over 300 websites actively using Elementor. Now, what's amazing about Elementor is it's completely free. They do have a pro add-on package. We're going to look at both in this video, but the core of Elementor is free, and a lot of times when there is a free plugin, it's usually just a couple of features so you can kind of get a feel for how it works, but that's not how Elementor does things. Elementor gives you a full featured free version. You can save things, you can get free templates. There's tons of, it's fully functional. It is amazing how generous they are with the free version of Elementor. And I kind of think that that's probably what has attributed to their massive growth. It is a very well coded plugin. You don't have any content lock-in if you disable it. You still have all of your content there in WordPress. It's pretty amazing. Let's take a look at their pro version and their pricing, and then I'm going to show you Elementor. Do I have it open here? No, that's the settings. I'm going to show you in a moment. Okay, Elementor Pro actually just came out last December, and essentially it's an additional plugin that you add to your website, and it adds pro features to Elementor, including some really amazing additional modules. Now, let's get to the pricing, and then I want to show you what you get for it. So I'm scrolling down. What I like about Elementor is it's really easy to get started. If you really only need a page builder for one website, you can buy a single site license for $49 and be in business. Now, they also have a 3-site license for $99 and unlimited sites for $199. I have this unlimited sites package right here. It is fantastic. I will say the annual renewal of Elementor is you get a 50% discount, which is pretty massive as well. Beaver Builder, you get a 40% discount, and I don't know if you get any discount with Divi. So what this is going to mainly do is it's mainly going to add these pro widgets. It's going to give you the ability to have globally saved items. It's going to give you CSS editing on a module by module basis. It's going to give you pro designed templates, but these additional features it gives you normally would cost about $40 to $50 by themselves on their own. And the beauty is, if you are used to using Elementor, right, you're used to the interface. If you went and got, say, a form plugin, Gravity Forms, let's just say Gravity Forms, and you buy that, that's $40 or so, and then you have to learn its interface and how to do that. What's beautiful about Elementor is you're using the same Elementor interface that you're going to get used to anyways, and now you're able to do more things with it. So it's going to add a slider. It's going to add forms. So you can have a full form builder. It's the most flexible form builder that I've seen in the sense that you can totally customize and style how it looks visually. I've never seen anything like this. No other page builder has a form builder like Elementor. You get this amazing price table. You get a countdown. The price table is pretty amazing. You get so many different options. You can style it any way you want without touching a line of code. You get a countdown timer, which is amazing. Price list is perfect if you're a restaurant or you're going to list prices out. That price list is amazing. Flipbox, you get a bunch of WooCommerce elements as well, and this amazing one that just came out recently called Animated Headline, that is amazing, and you can do more things with Elementor too, and it kind of gives an idea of where they're headed. You can create login forms, coming soon pages, maintenance mode pages. You can do some pretty amazing things with Elementor. Now, this is the paid stuff. The free stuff are amazing. They have this shape tool, they have this hover animations to everything. They have gradients. I mean, if you are a designer, you will fall in love with Elementor. If you're not a coder, you will fall in love with Elementor. It is the best page builder for people starting out and you have a low budget. It's free, but then it is great if you don't want to touch a line of code. You have a good, strong design sense to you, and you know how you want it to look. Now, there have been some problems with Elementor, but they recently came out with an update to kind of fix it. They are very aggressive in adding new features to the plugin. It is astounding. I mean, they are moving so fast and they are really pushing the envelope in what they're doing. It's amazing to see. But because of that, and because they've only been around a year, sometimes when they release an update, it can have some problems with your website. Unfortunately, it has happened. I think it's gotten a lot better in the last 2 or 3 months. They're now doing more extensive beta testing, and they recently added a feature to the settings panel of it. So if you log in and click on tools, there is this option right here where it says version control. So first, you can opt in to be a beta tester. This way you can beta test the plugin before you unleash it on your websites. But this is really nice right here. You can do a rollback, a version rollback. So if you do an update, you're noticing some problems, you can click a button and then roll back easily to the prior version and you're perfectly fine. You can submit your bug report and they will fix it, and then you can go ahead and update. I think out of all the user interfaces for all the page builders, I think my preference is Elementor has the best thought out user interface. I find it very easy to use, and it's pretty amazing what you can do with this free page builder. Let me just show you some of these things that I was talking about here. Let me go ahead, and I do have the pro version enabled. So you get these widgets with the free version, and here are the pro elements right here. Right here we have some general elements that come in the free version as well, and then some WordPress shortcodes. You can click on add template right here, and you can see this vast library of very practical templates that you can use on your website. Here's one. This is actually one of the free ones right here. Let me go ahead and insert it into this page so you can see some of the very advanced design elements. So first of all, right here, this is the shape tool. You see how you're getting that shape at the bottom? This is the shape tool. It is amazing. So I can click right here to get into the settings of this section. And then right here, we have 3 tabs: layout, style, advanced. Most of the things you're going to do are in style. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to scroll down, and here it's called shape divider. And we don't have a shape divider on the top. We have it on the bottom, and it's the curve. So I can adjust the curve. You see how I'm adjusting it right here? I can change it to something else. If I wanted waves, I can go with waves and adjust that down like this. There's so many design options that you have here. You notice on each of these columns right here, when I hover over it, you get this hover effect where it just gets lifted off the page. You get these very nice styled hovering effects. I have to show you this amazing thing that they added recently, and it is that animated text. Where are you, animated text? It's right here. Animated headlines. So let's see if I drag and drop that. Let me drop it right here. Like that. You see how it just did that? It just circled a word. Well, I think it's pretty amazing. You can have it do this underline right here, and you see it just underline the word like that. You have full control over the font style and everything. I suppose it would look better if I would make it white like this. So I made the shape white. Let me make the headline white. Like that, and there we go. That's perfect. And then actually for the shape tool, I would probably want that to be like a yellow or something like that, like a highlighter maybe. There we go. And we can preview it. It's just amazing, this little things like that. I mean, I really think that Elementor is good in so many different use cases. It is by far the very best free page builder for WordPress. If you have a very low or no budget, Elementor is definitely the page builder that you want to be using. It is amazing what you can do. You can build stuff so fast. You can save templates, you can buy templates, you can export templates. There's so much that you can do with Elementor. I must say that for all of these page builders, in terms of features, I think Elementor is definitely leading the pack and setting the pace with everything that they're doing and everything that they're adding and everything that they're planning. I think they're really shaking things up, and I really believe that they've only just got started. So a lot of those page builders I was talking about earlier that I'm saying that you got all this content lock-in problems and all that. Perfect example, SiteOrigin. Content lock-in, it's a back-end page builder. Well, Elementor is free. There's no reason why I would even use any of those paid ones I was talking about over Elementor. So those page builders, Cornerstone, SiteOrigin, Visual Composer, all those ones I listed, Themify, all those ones that have problems, Elementor just totally squashes all of them. It is just that amazing of a page builder, completely free, and their paid version is very, very affordable. Now, with Elementor, I know I'm only scratching the surface on explaining it here, but I do have a ton of video content on Elementor, and they have a great community behind Elementor. Okay, the last page builder I'm going to talk about, sorry for the length of the video, is going to be called Thrive Architect. Now, there used to be a plugin, used to be like a week ago, called the Thrive Content Builder, and now there's a Thrive Architect, which is version 2 of Thrive Content Builder. I personally think it was very smart of them to change the name. Now, there were some problems with Thrive Content Builder that I talked about in last year's video. Number one, it would work with any theme, but it wouldn't be fully functional with every WordPress theme. Now, Thrive Architect can truly stand on its own in any WordPress theme. Also, last year I was saying how in Thrive Content Builder it was looking pretty dated. It had come out in 2014, but they were actually working hard on building Thrive Architect when I made that video last year. And what they did, which I think was very good, is they made it fully backwards compatible. So everyone that's using Thrive Content Builder can upgrade, and most of their stuff will work. There are some upgrade issues that people are experiencing right now. Some of the strengths of Thrive Architect is it is very much geared towards marketers, which is a great thing, but don't let that limit you, because you can build full featured websites using Thrive Architect. But there's little things that it has to it that if you're a marketer or someone that has an online business, that you might want to consider using this. It has a full suite of landing page templates. Some of them are dated, but now that Thrive Architect's out, I'm sure they're going to be having some very, very nice new ones coming out. But they have elements that you can use that have a marketing purpose. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you some of those in a moment when I show you Thrive Architect. This page, of course, was built with Thrive Architect. These are some of the templates that you're getting with Thrive Architect. It has inline editing. That's one of the big sales points that they're actually making on the Thrive Architect page. However, all the page builders are working on that. Let's scroll down to the pricing of Thrive Architect, and then I'll show you some of the pros and cons of it. Where are you pricing? They have really, really good pricing, because the business model of Thrive Architect or the Thrive Content Builder is a little different. They will sell you the plugin and you get lifetime updates. You get 1 year support. Obviously, they can't sell you a plugin and say, we're going to support it. We're going to support you and provide you with personalized support for the life that you use it. So you purchase it, a single site license for $67, and at the end of 12 months, if you continue wanting support, it's a very nominal fee, but you will never be locked out of actually getting updates. And that's one of the things I've always liked about Thrive, that they do things that way. Another compelling thing about Thrive Architect is Thrive Architect is one plugin in an entire suite of plugins. So Thrive makes Thrive Leads, they make Thrive Ultimatum, they make Thrive Quiz Builder, and I know I'm probably missing a couple. There's a couple themes that they have they're remaking as well, but you get this entire suite of plugins that communicate to each other. So here's the best example of that. I have an Apple Watch, I have an iPhone, I have a Mac computer, I have an Apple TV, I have an iPad. Man, I have way too much Apple stuff. But the point is, it all perfectly integrates together. I can control one thing with the other thing. All of these devices perfectly communicate with one another. And that's one of the advantages of sticking with one family of products. So Thrive is really a family of products. Thrive Leads perfectly communicates with Thrive Ultimatum, which perfectly communicates with Thrive Architect, and you get this synergy that you can only get from Thrive. All of the other builders I talked about, they're fantastic, but they're just builders, where with Thrive, there's an entire suite of products that will perfectly work together. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Let me actually scroll to the bottom here because there's some important information. So they put this what's coming next. Thrive Architect just came out. They're going to be adding additional modules. They're going to be adding something that I think could be pretty important to a lot of people. They're going to add A/B split testing for landing pages. Now, they have mastered the art of split testing big time with Thrive because they already have the split testing in some of their other products. So they're just bringing that into Thrive Architect. I think it's going to be pretty huge. And I think it's going to give some of the software as a service type of platforms a serious run for their money, because really the only selling point for one of those software as a service things like lead pages and some of the other landing page companies really is the A/B split testing. That's the only advantage they have these days over other ways of WordPress related ways of having landing pages. But when they add this A/B split testing, I think they've got some stuff to worry about for sure. So anyways, this is Thrive Architect. Let's go ahead and take a look. I have it right here. Now I wanted to actually start with showing you the back end. Here is some of the strengths of it. They have deep API connections with just about every email marketing platform or any kind of platform you'd want to integrate with. Let me see if it actually shows you a list when I click on Manage Connections. Let's see. Let me click on Add a New Connection. Okay, so here's a list of email marketing services that it fully integrates with. Webinar platforms right here. There's some other things right here, and also social media. You don't get these types of integrations with the other builders at all, unfortunately. Another unique thing with Thrive Architect is it adds something called Thrive Lightboxes, and essentially a lightbox is a pop-up. So you don't need to have a separate pop-up plugin. If you want exit intent pop-ups, someone clicks on a button, there's a pop-up, a timed pop-up. You get that all already built into Thrive Architect. It's a very compelling thing that they have added. So here is the Thrive Architect interface. Like I said, it works with any theme. Now, there has been some criticism on Thrive Architect that it too closely resembles another page builder, Elementor. I don't necessarily agree with that, because Thrive Architect, when it was Thrive Content Builder, had a very similar interface to begin with. Yeah, there are some overlap and some similarities, but there really are with all page builders. So I personally don't buy into that. One of the things I really like about Thrive Architect, well, actually, let me just show you some of the elements you get with it. So you get the typical ones that you would expect, right? Buttons, headings, images, paragraphs, and all that. One nice thing is, let me just veer off course here. If you scroll down and you see this long list of elements, there's a little pin off to the side. And when you click on it, you can actually pin your most commonly used elements right there to the top, because I don't use the whole list of them. I might only use like 5 or 6 all the time. You can just pin them to the top, which I think is actually brilliant, right? I don't know why other builders haven't thought of that. I think it's a pretty impressive. There's another thing that is really, really cool about Thrive Architect. So when I drag and drop an element in like this, you get this breadcrumb feature. So actually, it's not showing well right here. Let me start with how about a set of columns? So let me drag this column element here. I'll choose this, and then let me click here and drag and drop this there. And now let me click on the text. You get this thing of breadcrumbs, this breadcrumb trail at the top. And what this is it's showing you where you are or what settings you're in, and it makes it super easy to backtrack a little bit. So it knows I'm in the text, paragraph text, but if I just want to edit something in the particular column, like maybe the background column color, I can just click there on the breadcrumb, and now I'm changing the style of the individual column. But hey, what if I wanted to go back one more and edit the style of all of the columns? I can go and click here on the breadcrumb, and I can do that. When I first saw that they did this in the beta a few weeks ago, I was pretty impressed, because it's little things like this that I think are very innovative. Another little thing that I really like about Thrive Architect, if you click on anything, so you got this inline text editor, I think it's great, but it's really coming to all of the different page builders soon. It's going to come shortly. But when you scroll down, you have all of the setting panels right here. There's a responsive option right here, and you can choose to make this visible only on the desktop or only on a tablet or only on a mobile. That's fine. Every other page builder has this, but what I like about it is, say if I only wanted this to be on the mobile device and I toggle it, you notice what happened? I don't see it anymore. I really like that, because there's times where I have to duplicate a section and make one that's perfect for mobile that I want for mobile and one that I want for the desktop, but I'm stuck looking at both when I'm on the desktop. Now, obviously, if I want to see it, even though it's hidden, I can click on this checkbox and see it. But I just really like the simple things about that, where it will actually hide it if I only want it on a mobile device. And I do have to say, I think as far as mobile editing goes, Thrive Architect has the best mobile editing experience, in my opinion, as far as changing the different attributes to make it look better on a mobile device. I think it's a tie really between Elementor and between Thrive Architect. There are some things that I also don't like about Thrive Architect. I don't like the interface here for adding a gradient. So here's a background style. So if I clicked on the columns and then I will scroll down to background style, here's what I would do to make a gradient. I just feel like it's such a harsh change from the interface. I like how Elementor does that better, where it just slides the panel down, but this is kind of like a pop-up in the settings column here. I don't really like it that much, but it is easy to go here and to change the gradient. So if I wanted to go with a gradient, I can easily choose out these colors and make something really beautiful like that. And you saw how easy that was to do. So, and then you have to always remember to click on apply. I actually don't like that either. So there are some things that I don't like about Thrive Architect that are really kind of minor things. I think the biggest thing I don't like about Thrive Architect is that, and I'm sure they'll add this, you can save modules and reuse them, but you can't have one be a global module. So if I made a section and say it's like a call to action and there's a button and I want that on every single page of my website, they can't all be linked, so I can make a change in one of them and it would change in all of them. I don't like that. However, I do think that they will add that feature here in the future. Also, I do think that Thrive Architect could use some new modules, but I think they've spent so much effort and energy wrapping up and getting Thrive Architect ready that they haven't yet had a chance to focus on adding new modules. Let me show you some of those marketing related modules that I wanted to show you. Okay, here's a simple one, a button. Okay, so a button's a button, but one of the things I really like about the button is right here you can have a secondary line of text, and this would essentially be text to reinforce why someone should click on the button in the first place. You don't get this with the other builders. I don't know why. It's a simple marketing thing. If you went to any kind of a sales page, you see it's very common to have a button with 2 lines of text. I love it. I don't understand why other builders don't add it. It's probably because they don't have this marketing focus with them. So that is a real simple thing, I know. Okay, so when I scroll down, I really like this content reveal. So essentially you can have content reveal on a timer. So say you have a 10-minute video and you want some content to reveal right at 8 minutes. You can do that with this content reveal. I really like the countdown timer. Well, really the evergreen countdown timer. You can actually also get this for Beaver Builder if you have ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder. But an evergreen countdown timer, they are fantastic. So that means when someone comes to your page, it will start counting down on them. But then if someone comes later at a later time, that's when their counter will start. It's evergreen. It's not this global countdown timer. A lot of people like this credit card module. So essentially what this does is it will show credit card icons. So this is really good if you have a sales page or something like that. Or actually, maybe I should have just gone ahead and put that underneath the button there. So I would probably need to center this. Right here under layout and position, I would go like that and center it. You do have really neat spacing controls now that I have them up right here, so I can drag this and change my padding or change my margin like this, and you can even go a little negative on the margin like that to get it exactly where you want. You didn't have those options before. One of the other modules that Thrive Architect has that others don't, that I think is pretty huge and very, very useful. And if I scroll down, it's right here. I really like this. It is a table module right here. So you can create tables that so you can pick how many rows and how many columns. You do that, and then I can just start clicking into them and adding the information that I want. So I could just click on Manage Cells, and now I can start clicking on the various cells and adding information. Actually, it doesn't seem to be working right for me. It's probably because it is one of their newer modules. I don't actually have this working right. How embarrassing. But that is okay. This is actually very useful if you are creating a blog post and you're using Thrive Architect on a blog post and you want this extensive information that you would find in a table or cell. I would actually consider using Thrive Architect for blog posts. I know tons and tons of people use the Thrive Content Builder on blog posts, and I'm sure Thrive Architect might end up being the very best page builder if you're writing blog posts, because there's a lot of blog post friendly type of stuff like this that are actually really, really good. Okay, so let me try to summarize all of this stuff. I know I gave you a lot of information, but I wanted to help give you the information so you can make the best decision for you. So number one, if you are someone that has a very low budget, I would consider Elementor, the free version, and the paid version if you just had one website. And also consider Thrive Architect because you only have to buy it once and you get lifetime updates. You can also consider Divi, although if you've noticed, I'm kind of shying away from Divi because of the content lock-in issues and the updates that break website issues. But you can't get away from the fact that for $250 you can get a lifetime license. And that's pretty good because you're not having to pay each year to renew it. So that's if you have a low budget. Number two, if you are someone just making one website, I recommend Elementor, the free version of Elementor, and the paid version because you could buy the one site license for $49, or use Thrive Architect because with Thrive Architect, you don't have to renew it the next year. Those are going to be great options for you. If you are a web developer and you want to create more complex projects, hands down, you're going to have to go with Beaver Builder and Beaver Themer, and they have a phenomenal community of advanced web developers. I mean, you can also use it for normal websites as well. In fact, I would probably say Beaver Builder is the best tool if you are making websites for someone else because you get unbelievable reliability when updates are pushed out, and that's essentially going to make it easy for you to manage multiple clients if you're not having to go in there and fix anything on each update. But if you want that advanced functionality, pairing Beaver Builder with Beaver Themer is amazing what you can do. It is amazing what you can do, and there is nothing that even comes close to it at this point. I have a full tutorial series on Beaver Themer, and you can watch that and see you can do some really amazing stuff without touching a line of code that you could not do before Beaver Themer was available. And you also get that added bonus of the Beaver Builder products. You can use it on limited websites and get support for unlimited websites. So you really can't beat the value there if you're a web developer or web design agency and you don't want to have to bring a necessary heartache of websites having issues on you. You're going to want Beaver Builder. And there's some amazing things that you can do with Beaver Builder that I didn't talk about, where you can restrict the access that your clients have to edit certain things. So say you come out with this beautiful layout and you give it access to your client and they screw it all up. Well, with Beaver Builder, there are ways to restrict what they can and cannot do. So you can make it so all they can do is change the text. That's perfect, because then they can't change the font, they can't change the background, they can't rearrange anything, and that's going to make life a lot easier for you, and it's going to allow you to provide more foolproof solutions for your customers. Next, if you are a marketer, I think you really want to give Thrive Architect a serious look because of these marketing-centric features that they have. You can create sales funnels. You're going to pretty soon be able to do A/B split testing, which is amazing if you're buying any kind of paid traffic. definitely Thrive Architect. If you're a marketer, you're probably also making lots of blog posts, long form content. You're not going to be able to make any long form content right now in Beaver Builder or Elementor until they add inline editing. So if you want engaging long form content, right now your only option is Thrive Architect, and I highly recommend it for that. Also, if you want to create high converting landing pages, also give Elementor a look, because Elementor is very designer friendly, which means you're going to have access to the most recent design trends to make unique looking landing pages for yourself or for your clients. Definitely give Elementor a look for that if you're a marketer as well. At the end of the day, I think these are all great page builders, and unfortunately, the information changes. New features come out, new versions come out. I have a link down below. I have links to everything, of course, but I also have a link down below to a page on my website where I'm keeping you up to date on all of these different changes. So when you go to the site, you'll see all the updates for each of these 4 main page builders, where you can just click on the link and go read more if you wanted to, but everything's going to kind of be consolidated right there. Once again, I have links to everything down below. What page builder do you use? And I want to know why you choose that page builder. Let's try not to attack the other ones, but let's definitely share why you think your page builder and the one you've chosen to use is the best page builder for you. Thanks for sticking it out with me through this very long video, but I think that the page builder you choose to use is just as important as the web hosting you choose to use, which means it is everything. And I just wanted to give you as much information as possible to make the best decision possible for you. Thank you for watching.